Is James Gunn lying about who he's casting in Man of Tomorrow? Let's see while we jump into what Deadline had to say. Deadline stated that Adria Arjona, Ella Purnell, Marissa Abela are testing for a key role in Man of Tomorrow. They say it will be Maxima, the warrior queen from the planet Omrak. However, if you take a look here, you can see that, well, James Gunn confirmed it's false. Well, what did James Gunn have to actually say about that? Well, this is not against Nexus, James Gunn says via threads. They're sharing what Deadline reported, but Deadline's reporting is shoddy and incorrect. I've always thought Deadline was pretty thorough in their journalism, but that's not the case here, so I'm frankly disappointed. If someone would have run these names by us, we would have said it's bullshit. I've been friends with Adria a long time, since I cast her in the Belko Experiment. I'm a fan of both Marissa and Ella, but I've never met either of them. Crazy. This is all very interesting. I know people are going to run and love to say, oh, James Gunn is lying and this and that, but this isn't where everything just kind of stops, because there has to be some kind of truth to what's going on here, right? Because where else would Deadline get this? I'm not saying that Deadline's never wrong. I'm not saying that these big outlets are never wrong. However, I feel like James Gunn may be not being completely honest here. Yes, I do believe that. Because if we jump over, we see via the Hollywood Reporter, Adria Arjona, Eva de Dominici, Sydney Chandler, and Grace Van Patten are actually testing for the role of Maxima in Man of Tomorrow. Okay, so James Gunn didn't necessarily say that they weren't getting screen tests or testing or getting people cast for a role, for a female role. He just said that he did not meet Marissa or Ella. That's interesting. So, was he lying? No, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't lying. Again, THR did a whole little article here. James Gunn is getting close to finding his Maxima of Man of Tomorrow. Adria Arjona, Eva de Domingo, Demichi, Sydney Chandler, Grace Van Patten. Sydney Chandler, by the way, is the daughter of Kyle Chandler. So that's kind of interesting. They are the 4 finalists for the role, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. The actors tested this week in Atlanta, where Gunn is prepping for his Superman sequel. It's not a sequel, we know that. DC Studios declined to comment. Earlier in the day, Gunn took to social media to rebut an item from Deadline floating names that had allegedly tested for the role. Writer Roger Stern and artist George Perez introduced Maxima on the page of Action Comics 645 and 89. She is an alien queen who's been both an antagonist and potential love interest for Superman. So we also know, according to this, that we are going to see a number of characters in this movie, such as Nicholas Hoult, Lars Eidinger, who will be playing Brainiac, a newcomer, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane again, Skylar Guzzardo, Sarah Sampaio, Isabel Merced, Nathan Fillion, and Edie Gathegi will be returning also. So people are kind of excited, like, hey, guess what? It looks like we are going to have the Justice Gang back. But now also, when we take a look at this, we see that according to Jeff Snyder from The Insnyder, he's stating that Maxima will reportedly have a smaller role in Man of Tomorrow. She's expected to have an expanded one in the inevitable 3rd Superman movie. Well, see, I sit here and I start to think about, could this even be possible? Because I know people love to attack Jeff Snyder. I've done it in the past because he's just got that face. You know, he's got that kind of face. But honestly, let's sit back and think about this for a second, because they are just weeks, not even weeks, days. You could count days away from production starting on Man of Tomorrow. Typically, casting for the larger roles, for the roles that are going to be very meaty, happen months in advance. The fact that Maxima has not yet been cast and it's gone this close to production leads me to believe that Jeff Snyder might be onto something here. He might be onto the fact that, hey, maybe this isn't a very large role for this movie, but eventually will become a larger role in the DCU moving forward. Again, you can sit there and say Jeff Snyder is talking on his ass, or you don't believe him or what have you. That's fine, but when you sit down and you think about things logically and you think about how casting and how movie productions are done, well, this kind of makes sense. This makes sense that, well, maybe Maxima doesn't have a big role in this movie. Now, I do want to ask all of you, though, who do you want to see as Maxima in this film? Adria Arjona, Eva de Demici, I can't say names, Sydney Chandler, and Grace Van Patten. Could you see any of them as Maxima? Now, there is an interesting rumor going around that's saying that Maxima was cast a while ago, that this is not for Maxima, but for Wonder Woman. Again, that could be factual because it could be a smaller role, a smaller part in the film. But I don't know. Look, I know everybody was hoping for Adria to be Wonder Woman, and that would kind of make sense why she is being screen tested now. But I don't know. This is very interesting. Everything about this is just getting to be very, very intriguing and interesting indeed. Now, last thing, like I said, Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific will be returning in Man of Tomorrow. That coming from THR as well, so everybody get excited. Edie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific was a standout in 2025 Superman, and everybody loves Nathan Fillion and Guy Gardner. The one thing this does kind of tell us, though, is that he will be coming out of the Lantern series alive. So that's kind of cool. The fact that we've now getting confirmation that Aaron Pierre will be in Man of Tomorrow, as well as the Nathan Fillion. Does that tell us that Kyle Chandler won't make it out of Lanterns? It's interesting for sure. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Finally, we are less than a week out from the release of my book, The Snyder Effect, and I have to give it to Comics Cuts here for saying some very nice things about it. He's one of the ones that I gave an early copy to read over it and see what he thought, and this is what he has to say. I'm going to be doing a review soon. The Snyder Effect, he sent it to me some time ago, and it was incredible. I learned a lot about the fallout with Zack Snyder and DC that I didn't know previously, and it shifted my view of the entire story. It's not biased or charged or anything like that either, and regardless of your perspective of the matter, it is worth your time. And I'm promising you all, guys, give this book a shot. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I think it's going to be one of those ones that any fan of DC, Zack Snyder, or anything like that, this is a book that you're all going to want to have. So it goes on sale. Physical copies go on sale on April 13th. That is just a few days away, essentially. You can get the digital copy now on Amazon.com. So with all that said, guys, I want to know what you guys are thinking about all this. What do you guys think about Maxima or Wonder Woman? Or are you excited about Edie Gathegi and Nathan Fillion being confirmed to be back in Man of Tomorrow? Are you upset that this isn't a normal Superman sequel? This isn't a solo Superman film like some people are whining and crying about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Love to hear what you have to say. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. And with all that said, guys, I'll catch you all later.